Hey guys, welcome back. Today we will see how we can speed up Windows 11. There are different ways to make your device faster. It depends on what's slowing it down. Maybe you are running low on space or you have a lot of programs running. At the end, we'll also have a look at specialized cleaning software. The first app you want to have a look at is the Task Manager because it's really useful and it already comes with Windows. If you didn't know how to open it, you just need to right-click on the taskbar and then left-click on Task Manager. Left-click on the Processes tab if it's not already selected. What you can do here is left-click on a specific category to sort the list by the amount of resources that the apps use. For example, if you left-click on Memory, it will show the apps that use the most memory at the top. We need to mention that this is the RAM memory, the random access memory. So it's the memory that the apps use when they are opened. For example, we have our program that we use to record these videos at the top, which is using a lot of memory, but we can't really do anything about this. The next one is the Endpoint Protection Service from Windows, which uses only 92 megabytes. So on our device at the moment there's nothing wrong, but you may see apps that you don't know or don't use actively that use up a lot of resources here, and if you do find them, you can just uninstall them. We'll show you how to do that later. Another thing that you can do is just right click on any program over here and then left click on End Task, and that will turn it off if the problem is something momentarily. But make sure you don't close any Windows processes because that might make your PC shut down. Another thing that you can do with the Task Manager is check out the startup apps. Left click on this category. Over here, if you left click on status, you can sort the items by if they're enabled or not to run at the startup. We already disabled some items. We had Microsoft Teams at startup and OneDrive and some other apps, and this will help you speed up your PC at startup for one point, and also spare the resources that the apps were using. If you don't need these apps, it's safe to just disable the startup. For example, we can right click on Microsoft Edge and just left click on disable, because when we need a browser we will just open it by ourselves. Another thing that you can do is check the storage. I'm gonna left click on the close button and right click on the Windows logo and then left click on settings, and then you can left click on storage in this list. The first place you want to have a look at is the temporary files. This will allow you to delete files that you don't need on your computer and save up some disk space and possibly speed it up. I'm going to left click to open the category. In here we have different items. You can left click on the checkbox to check or uncheck them. If you haven't performed a temporary files cleanup in a while, you will probably be able to save up a lot of disk space and improve the performance of your device. When you're ready, left click on remove files over here, and that will delete the selected categories. It tells you if you are sure. I'm gonna left click on continue, and as we can see they are gone right now. Just make sure you don't delete something that might seem important. If you are not sure, just leave them unchecked. Another thing that you can do from the storage, I'm gonna left click on the back button at the top left, is check out the installed apps. There's a shortcut over here. If you left click, it will take you to installed apps. In your settings, what you can do over here is left click on the button that says sort by and just select size large to small. What this will do is it will show you the apps that use the most space on your drive at the top. For example, we have a video game over here. which we haven't actually opened yet. If we want to save some disk space, we can left click on the three buttons over here and then just left click on uninstall, and that will open the uninstaller for the program. You can feel free to check all the list, and if you find programs that you don't need anymore, you can uninstall them, or you can just uninstall any program that you haven't used for a while, for that matter. And this is a great way to save up disk space. Another thing that you could do is just reinstall an app that's running slow, and maybe that will clean up its files and settings and probably speed it up. For example, we could do that for Mozilla Firefox, which is a web browser, if we would have problems with it. I'm gonna close this window and mention that another thing you can do to improve performance is disable visual effects. Right click on the start button again, and then left click on settings. Now we want to go to accessibility over here and left click, and then left click on visual effects. We can disable the transparency effects and the animation effects by left clicking the button over here, but as we can see on our device they are already turned off. You can left click to toggle it. This will have minimal impact on the aspect of Windows, but it will save up some performance, some resources. I'm gonna close this window. Lastly, you can install specialized software that promise to clean up your device. Just make sure that they are from a trusted source and try to have a look to see if they are actually trusted software, because there are a lot of fake software on the internet that are actually malware. I'm gonna double left click on CCleaner to open it, and what you can do is just perform an automatic check by left clicking on start, and this will check the PC generally. This is just to show you an example. There are many different programs on the internet, but like I mentioned, try to make sure that they are trusted and from a trusted source. You can see that it found some trackers to remove and some space. It's not much because we just ran the program, but if you haven't ever ran it, it will save up a lot of disk space and find a lot of privacy and space issues. It also has a custom clean. If you left click on it, you can select different categories, for example sessions or download history. This is for your browser. It also has some settings for Windows Explorer and your system. For example, you could delete the Windows event logs. This is something that your computer doesn't really need. It is only used to diagnose problems. And it also has a section for applications, which you can again select different categories to delete. It also has a performance optimizer, which shows you some programs that run at startup and in the background. Here, for example, you can't really use the feature because the software also has a pro version, which they want to convince you to buy. But if you encounter something like this, you can just check the name of the program and try to uninstall it or disable it from running at the startup by your own. It also has a driver updater, and you can use it to see if you have any out-of-date drivers. Maybe installing some new drivers might help you, but it depends. It really depends on a case-by-case basis. It also has a registry cleaner, which is a feature that a lot of programs have. You can scan for issues and it will find broken registry entries, and then you can just delete them. But it's a good idea to perform a backup of the registry. As it says, if we want to backup, we're going to left click on yes, and then we can save it to the desktop. Right now we can fix all the selected issues, and if we encounter problems we can just restore the registry from the desktop. That's it, guys, in regards to some examples of how you can improve the performance on your device. You can also try to see if you can improve your hardware, but this is the last thing that you can have a look at, because maybe you can find ways to clean up your device to speed it up. A good thing is also to install a free antivirus or a trial antivirus and scan your device. If you don't have an antivirus running, this might find some malware on your device, and if it removes it, that will drastically improve the performance. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you find this tutorial helpful and it might guide you to finding some ways that you can use to improve the performance on your own device. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe for future tips.